You'll join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, here on the Can Talk Radio Network, where we strive to bring you the libertarian perspective on political events of the day. There's no show quite like Freedom Works, with in-depth interviews, our ultimate top 10 list, and so much more. So join us for Freedom Works, the Paul Malloy Show, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 to 11 a.m. here on the Can Talk Radio Network.
Hi there, I'm Robin Savage, stand-up comic. Are you sick of the news getting pushed around by two sides, always saying the other side is wrong? You deserve to enjoy the news.
That's what's up, Robin. I'm your host, Mac James, from Stand Up for News. We're stand-up comics, and we tell the news. The news doesn't have any legs and can't stand up for its own self. Join us and special guests like local hero comics like Donnie Stopa, all the way to legends like Tommy Chong, every Thursday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on WTAN Radio.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
It's time for the Kelly Kelly Show on the Tan Talk Radio Network with your hosts Kelly Kelly and Doug Kelly. Kelly is an award-winning photographer and travel writer, as well as the publisher of the popular ColorfulClearwater.com blog. And Doug is the author of 3 published books and a contributing editor for Florida Sportsman magazine. Now, here they are.
Well, thanks for being with us. I hope you're staying cool in this Sahara-like atmosphere right now, desert. You know, a very large number of Latin Americans have contributed to the growth of our nation. Tampa Bay's history is no exception, beginning with the Spanish explorer Ponce de Leon way back in 1513. And in the late 1800s, Latinos from Puerto Rico, Cuba, and other Hispanic countries came to live here.
That's very true.
Yep.
Ybor City began as cigar factories. Thanks to being listed in the National Register of Historic Places, Ybor City is now filled with chic restaurants, ritzy nightlife, and quaint shops.
Chic restaurants.
Chic.
Huh? Chic.
Chic.
Okay.
Like a Arab chic.
As the Latin American population expanded throughout Hillsborough and Pinellas counties, so too is it's done all over the country. So to represent the voices of Spanish-speaking people, the League of United Latin American Citizens now has over 135,000 members.
Isn't that something?
That's pretty good.
Known by its acronym of LULAC, we have with us today the newly elected director of Florida's LULAC.
That's right, and we'll hear from him today in just a few minutes, and what he says may surprise you.
Also, do you know what lawn bowling is all about? It's hugely popular, and Clearwater has its very own Lawn Bowls Club. It's played outdoors, and we'll learn all about it in today's second segment of the show.
Yes, we will. And
before we get to all that, see if you can answer this trivia question. True or false? Benjamin Franklin designed the $100 bill with his picture on it. The answer, right after these brief words.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
In 1955, the law firm now known as Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes made a decision. Instead of taking whatever cases came through their doors, they decided to focus specifically on personal injury. 64 years later, the law firm is one of Clearwater's longest-running personal injury firms. Available 24 hours a day with offices in Clearwater and throughout Tampa Bay, they're ready to put decades of experience to work for you if you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or injured due to someone's negligence or recklessness. If you feel overwhelmed, uncertain, or unsure about your next steps after being involved in an accident or after a loved one sustained serious injuries due to someone else's negligence, call Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes at 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. That's 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. Not attorney spokesman.
Shop the largest selection of Guy Harvey apparel, artwork, and gift items at GuyHarvey.com. From the world-renowned marine wildlife artist, the Guy Harvey online shop features the latest in performance apparel, classic Guy Harvey t-shirts, decor for every room in your home, exquisite ocean-inspired jewelry, and unique gift items. including custom merchandise not available anyplace else. Browse an extensive catalog of original Guy Harvey works of art and a full range of beautiful reproductions. As with all Guy Harvey merchandise, a percentage of sales benefits the ocean conservation, research, and education work of the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation. The Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation will help ensure that future generations can enjoy and benefit from a well-balanced ocean ecosystem. Bring the undersea world into your everyday life at GuyHarvey.com.
Do you know what a truly special blog is? It's a website that's rated as one of the best in Florida, chock full of fantastic articles, humor, videos, and hundreds of cool pictures. So what blog is creating all that buzz? It's ColorfulClearwater.com, a blog on the internet created by Kelly Kelly. In only its second year, ColorfulClearwater.com is gaining in popularity every day due to its original writing and original videos and photography. It's updated several times per week with fresh content and includes everything about the color, culture, and vibrancy of Clearwater citizens and businesses. Even though it covers just one city in Florida, ColorfulClearwater.com nonetheless is already outperforming blogs promoting tourist destinations and major sports teams. Hey, see for yourself. Give a visit to ColorfulClearwater.com and make it your source of enlightening insights and entertainment. That's ColorfulClearwater.com.
Ask any successful entrepreneur. They'll tell you that the fundamental way to grow a business is through strategic connections. Relationships drive business. Forming a solid network of reliable contacts is essential to your growth. And there's no better way to get connected in Clearwater than through membership in Amplify Clearwater, your Chamber of Commerce for Clearwater and Clearwater Beach. Amplify Clearwater is your first level of support. Membership affords you the opportunity to meet like-minded business owners you otherwise wouldn't have met. You'll be able to collaborate, network, support, bond, and do business with each other. Interested? Then visit AmplifyClearwater.com. There you'll find all the information you need to make an informed decision and start the membership application process. Amplify Clearwater. One community, one chamber, one vision. Join today at AmplifyClearwater.com.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
All righty. Thanks for being with us today on the Kelly Kelly Show. I'm Doug Kelly, here with my better 7/8, Kelly Kelly, and Big Ed Davis, as always, the executive producer of the Tan Talk Radio Network. ¿Qué pasa, Ed?
No habla.
No habla español? English?
English, whatever.
Okay. All right. Well, let's introduce our guest.
Well,
Our first guest.
No. Before the break, you asked a question, or I asked a question.
Oh, that's true.
This is true.
I always forget that.
Yep. Before the break, I asked, true or false, Benjamin Franklin designed the $100 bill with his picture on it.
The answer is false.
Okay.
However, he did, among many things, he designed an $8 bill. Not many people know that. Obviously, it was never adopted as U.S. currency.
Who was on the $2 bill?
I think Wayne Newton.
Okay.
I'm not sure. That's a good question, though.
Now we introduce our first guest after a little hiccup there. Okay. Our first guest is Alicio Santana. He just became elected as the Florida director of the League of United Latin American Citizens.
That's right.
Or LULAC. Congratulations, Alicio.
Way to go.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to be here. Being able to speak to the community at large and to be able to give out information so that people would be able to know me, know us, and I know you is probably the biggest gift that you have. And for that, that you've given me, and for that, I thank you.
Oh, our pleasure. Pleasure. Absolutely. We mentioned that they have 135,000 members now.
Yeah. Nationwide.
And how many in Florida?
Well, in Florida right now, because of COVID, we've had a huge drop in the numbers. But we had 10 consuls throughout Florida in June when I first started. And I'm glad to say that as of now, we have 15 and we have 5 more. We're going to be doubling that by the end of the month.
Excellent.
And looking at maybe tripling it by the end of the year.
Fantastic.
So we're in a growth spur right now. had everybody to themselves. But now everybody is eager to participate and in need of participating. And so we're giving them that structure to be able to be the citizens that we are supposed to be. But sometimes we don't necessarily take the responsibility that comes by being a citizen and participating.
Sure.
And so we give them the way, the guide, and the ability, and welcome them to come and to be part of us.
Very good. Well, let's back up just a bit. And for people who don't know you, tell us a little bit about your background, where you're born, raised, etc.
Well, I was born in the largest city in Puerto Rico, Bronx, New York. There's a huge population of Puerto Ricans there. But as of recently, actually, after Maria, we had over 300,000 Puerto Ricans arrive in Florida, and many of them stayed. So the Kissimmee, Orlando area actually has about as many Puerto Ricans as Bronx, New York. So Florida's become a center. We have about 1 million Puerto Ricans that live in the state of Florida, and that is growing.
Wow.
But I basically traveled between the Northeast and Puerto Rico, New York, Puerto Rico, and Massachusetts. I joined the U.S. Army at 17, served for 4 years. I got married while I was there. And when I got out, my parents had retired. And they were moving to Florida. I was serving my tour of Korea during that time. And I told my wife, go with my parents to Florida. And when I get out of Korea and out of the Army, I'll go and we'll check it out. I've never been to Florida. That was in 1980.
Wow.
As soon as I arrived, I enrolled in electronic engineering school because I loved electronics. I got a job with the sheriff's department fixing radios. And I ended up just 10 years ago retiring with over a 30-year career with the sheriff's department in technology.
That's fantastic.
Wow, that's great.
That's great. And you mentioned your Army, and also the Florida National Guard?
That's correct. After I got out of the Army, the 4 years, I served 2 years in the Florida National Guard. And it's such a pleasure to be able to put myself in a situation that I can help our fellow citizens that are in need.
Yeah. So you've been in, Pinellas County for how many years?
43 years.
All right.
Wow, that's amazing. I have 4 children, 3 daughters and 1 son, and 12 grandchildren. No, let me rephrase that. 12 granddaughters and 1 grandson.
Oh my! Wow. That's really quite the ratio.
William is my favorite grandson.
Yeah,
I can't say that about the girls now.
That's amazing. And you're also past vice president of the North Pinellas County League of Women Voters.
That is true. What does a grandfather of 12 young women do to ensure that they have the ability of growing to be their fullest? I joined the League of Women Voters, and I was elected to be their vice president.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You wouldn't suspect that, right?
Well, I think that all of us citizens need to involve ourselves in those things that we have interest and a desire to make a change and to improve. And that was an area that the League of Women Voters do accept men, of course. That's obvious.
Okay. So that's also an emphasis that you're going to be putting in LULAC as well, is civic participation.
Absolutely. The League of United Latin American Citizens, it came about because many of us, matter of fact, the majority of Hispanics in Pinellas County, the overwhelming majority. I heard estimates between 80 and 90% of those Hispanics that reside here in our county are documented and citizens.
Okay.
So we have a very small percentage of undocumented, if you may, maybe because we don't have agriculture. This is a very urbanized area this year. So it is important for us to be able to bring us citizens that are Hispanic into the equation of being able to participate. For too long, it was believed, and I don't adhere to that belief, but it was something that if you were invisible, if you were quiet, you were safe. if you did not, people felt that they were transient. They were just passing through. They might be here for 10, 20 years, but they have this mentality that just passing through. In the meantime, they have children that were born here. They're paying taxes. They have houses. They work. They contribute. And it's essential for all citizens to participate in our democracy. And so LULAC is here to educate everyone as to the civics, not just Hispanics, but that's what we concentrate to be able to understand how our government works and how it's essential that we, the people, participate in the process for it to be successful.
Absolutely, because that's the only way that the community is going to get better, is if show an interest and participate and voice your opinion, and that's how change happens.
Agree, and it's not just in the governmental or civics area. The American Heart Association told me that the Hispanic population are at high risk for heart disease and things like high cholesterol, diabetes, high blood pressure, things that are very common in the Hispanic population that puts us in a higher risk. And they were telling me that they translated all of their information into Spanish, that they were offering classes on CPR, but no one would step up and sign up. And so we LULAC took it upon ourselves as a trusted member of the community to be able to offer CPR classes to the population. And we've had classes of 50 individuals at a time, teaching them how to save the children's life, how to save their life. Through that knowledge, we have given the power to the individual to save a life.
And these are free classes.
They are free classes, yes. And we're continuing them. We're doing once a month. We don't have one scheduled for this coming month, but that will happen soon.
That's awesome. So how do you find out more about LULAC?
Well, you can go into our Facebook. We have a Facebook page called LULAC Pinellas. We're in the process of rebuilding the Florida LULAC page. So you can go to the LULAC Florida page, but it'll get better.
Okay. Improvements on the way, right?
Yes, it is. We should go into under construction. Right now, they just advertising and promoting an event that had happened, our convention.
Tell us what a member should expect if they become a member of LULAC.
In order to become a member of LULAC, there has to be two individuals from the community that know you, that will swear that you are a person of good character. And that allows you then to be able to be brought in. We're trying to structure a meeting every month, and then we come in and we have a process that we go through. But the essential thing is if you're Hispanic and you have a desire, a need to do some work in the community and improve something, whatever that may be, that falls under the umbrella of good citizenship, we will promote you. And if you can find 10 people, with you being 10 people, then you can become a council, and we will give you all the tools, the connections you need to be able to be extremely effective at that cause that you seek. So we have causes, we have councils that are education based, from kindergarten to 12th grade. We have councils that deal with immigration, and right now we're in the process now of doing a council here in Pinellas County that has to do with affordable housing. And that's something that not just affects the Hispanics, but affects everyone.
Sure does.
And we need to be a voice, like, together in unison with others, telling our government, telling our agencies that they need to do more to resolve this problem. I'm not Solomon. I don't have the answers. I just know that they need to pay more priority and more attention to that.
Yeah, well, there's power in numbers. There's no doubt about that. If I was Hispanic and I went to one of your monthly meetings, what takes place? Do you have speakers, or do you just demonstrations? What goes on?
Well, for example, we brought in a city council member from Clearwater to come and speak with us and to tell us what the city is doing and what that city council structure is like. We did the same thing with in St. Petersburg. We brought in a city council member from St. Petersburg who told us the same thing. We want our representatives, elected representatives, to be eyeball to eyeball with the individuals, not to be them, but to be one of us. And in order to do that, so when you go to a meeting, we bring in experts that teaches and connects us with that resources that we need, the information that we need. And we also have projects that we do. Right now, we're giving out diapers, for example. I'm so blessed that we were able to receive a truckload donation of Huggies plus diapers.
Wow.
And those darn things are expensive.
I was shocked. I went to Walmart, just to see, and they were between $40 and $70 for them things.
Unbelievable.
And if you have 3 or 4 kids, man, that can get really, really expensive.
Yes,
very expensive.
And with COVID and all of the stress that everyone has gone through, and not knowing for a while there, we didn't know where the money was coming from because we didn't know if we can go to work or not. And then now, is many of the people, not just Hispanics, but in general, work 2 jobs, and they don't get benefits from it. They may be 25 hours here, 25 hours in the other job, 50 hours, and then they don't. So they struggle to pay the rent. They struggle to keep food on the table. And when we're able to give them the gift of you would think a diapers, it's $40, $70, but it releases the stress.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It is.
There's less money. Good.
You were telling us that a lot of Hispanic families, even before COVID, multi-generations live in the same house.
Absolutely. I'll describe my household. Okay, which is an example. I have some of my grandchildren are living with me, with their mother, which is my daughters, and up until just recently, my mother-in-law also lived with us. So there was 4 generations that were there. Now my mother-in-law had Alzheimer's, but she was still functional, and she could not remember what happened 10 minutes ago, but she would be able to address the needs of the children. So the children, they will arrive at my house in the morning, they'll eat breakfast and they'll get ready, and then they walk to school, and then after school they come back and eat and they get ready and then they go home. And so she was such an asset to us because she was able to keep everything going. A multi-generational Hispanic household helps each other in being able to cope and deal with the high rent, the high cost of electricity, the high cost of food. And just, if you try to pay someone to babysit your children, daycare,
it's horrible.
You could not work. You could not work. It would not be cost effective. So that's where the multi-generational families come into play. And I think right now it's becoming more into style. Because of all the things that I mentioned. It doesn't just apply to Hispanics, just that we've been doing this for quite a while.
This is true. You live very close to us. I've seen you at the grocery store a couple of times. So
one thing that's interesting too that I've noticed that seems to be more something that you'll see with Hispanics. They seem to be more interested in being outside rather than inside. You'll see them in the garage door open and they'll have like a little living room set up, and they're just enjoying the fresh air and whatnot. Whereas a lot of other people eschew that. They just stay in their house with the air conditioning and they never go out and
I don't know.
Whatever. Right now, though, it's too hot to do anything outside.
And being in a garage, if you don't have a good fan, I question your mental health.
You'll melt. It's crazy.
But going with what you were saying, we have a sense of community. My 2 granddaughters, one is 4 and the other one is 5. When they come over to the kitchen and they ask for a treat or something to eat, when I give it to them, they don't go away. she insists that I also give her something for her other cousin.
Oh.
So they, it's that communal type of thing. I cannot be okay unless we are okay.
Sure.
That's
And
nice.
and that opens up what you're saying. The outdoor is more of an openness, a welcoming type of a thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, we have neighbors, Puerto Rican neighbors, and they're great.
Yeah.
Great people. We enjoy them, and right now we're trying to get some feral cats out of the neighborhood
Oh,
with them, but
good luck.
Coordinating.
yeah, but that's not working out too well.
Yeah.
Well, that's great, Alicia. Once again, what's the contact info for LULAC?
Well, the contact information is my cell phone number, actually, is probably the easiest thing to do, is 727-366-7106. And like I said, you can get into the Facebook page for LULAC Pinellas or LULAC 7069, and you'll be able to connect in through that. But just give me a shout out. Text me.
Are you related to any of the Santanas in the rock group?
We looked into that. It appears that about 200 years ago, the Santana families from the southern part of Spain, the young men wanted to go out into the empire, and they went on a one-way trip to the Philippines, to Cuba, to Puerto Rico, to Mexico, to all over the world where the Spanish empire was at, and it was a one-way trip. So we think that we're connected about 200 years ago.
Okay.
So can I call him my cousin?
Sure. Can you sing?
No.
Do you play any instrument?
I play the congas for about 5 minutes, and then after that, I lose it.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Alicia, big thanks for being with us today on the Kelly Show.
Director of the League of United Latin American Citizens. Very nice.
It's such a welcoming feeling of being here. And just because we look different doesn't mean that we are different. Well, different in a good way. We're friendly.
Oh, yeah.
Talk
This
to
is
me.
true.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All righty. Well, we're going to take a short break. But first, here's another trivia question. On average, how many minutes do Americans spend each day eating? Is it 77 minutes, 97 minutes, or 197 minutes? The answer right after this.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
In 1955, the law firm now known as Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes made a decision. Instead of taking whatever cases came through their doors, they decided to focus specifically on personal injury. 64 years later, the law firm is one of Clearwater's longest-running personal injury firms. Available 24 hours a day with offices in Clearwater and throughout Tampa Bay, they're ready to put decades of experience to work for you if you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or injured due to someone's negligence or recklessness. If you feel overwhelmed, uncertain, or unsure about your next steps after being involved in an accident or after a loved one sustained serious injuries due to someone else's negligence, call Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes at 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. That's 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. Non-attorney spokesman.
Shop the largest selection of Guy Harvey apparel, artwork, and gift items at GuyHarvey.com. From the world-renowned marine wildlife artist, the Guy Harvey online shop features the latest in performance apparel, classic Guy Harvey t-shirts, decor for every room in your home, exquisite ocean-inspired jewelry, and unique gift items, including custom merchandise not available anyplace else. Browse an extensive catalog of original Guy Harvey works of art and a full range of beautiful reproductions. As with all Guy Harvey merchandise, a percentage of sales benefits the ocean conservation, research, and education work of the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation. The Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation will help ensure that future generations can enjoy and benefit from a well-balanced ocean ecosystem. Bring the undersea world into your everyday life at GuyHarvey.com.
Do you know what a truly special blog is? It's a website that's rated as one of the best in Florida, chock full of fantastic articles, humor, videos, and hundreds of cool pictures. So what blog is creating all that buzz? It's colorfulclearwater.com, a blog on the internet created by Kelly Kelly. In only its second year, colorfulclearwater.com is gaining in popularity every day due to its original writing and original videos and photography. It's updated several times per week with fresh content and includes everything about the color, culture, and vibrancy of Clearwater's citizens and businesses. Even though it covers just one city in Florida, colorfulclearwater.com nonetheless is already outperforming blogs promoting tourist destinations and major sports teams. Hey, see for yourself. Give a visit to colorfulclearwater.com and make it your source of enlightening insights and entertainment. That's colorfulclearwater.com.
You run your business with a laser-like focus on success. Challenges come at you from every angle, but you stay the course. Your calendar is full and your time is limited. So how do you deal with governmental issues that can impact your business? Turn to Amplify Clearwater, your Chamber of Commerce for Clearwater and Clearwater Beach. Amplify Clearwater monitors legislation on the city, county, and state levels to identify issues that will impact businesses in the region. Then they become your voice to our elected representatives. They listen, watch, then take action to either support positive legislation or table bills that would negatively affect our business community. But they need your support to continue this vital work. Why not join the Chamber today? Visit amplifyclearwater.com for all the details and to submit a membership application. Amplify Clearwater. One community, one chamber, one vision.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Thanks for listening to the Kelly Kelly Show. I'm Kelly Kelly. I'm here with my husband, Doug Kelly. He's also my co-host.
Yep.
And before the break, Doug asked, what did you ask? On average, how many minutes do Americans spend each day eating? Is it 77 minutes, 97 minutes, or 197 minutes? And I guess it depends on the person. But on average, 77 minutes.
Yeah. And that's what's 1 hour and 17 minutes.
That's amazing.
That doesn't seem right.
No, it doesn't.
Because, I mean, you could have dinner for that long length of time if you go out.
Yeah,
You know?
Well, I was thinking shorter, but okay. Well, our next guest is Dick Judicki. And he is, what is your title, Dick?
Right now, it's the vice president of the Clearwater Lawn Bowling Club.
Okay.
The vice president. Okay. So can you maybe tell us a little bit about your background? How did you arrive in Clearwater? And
Well, we actually live in Dunedin, but
that's close enough.
That is correct. It certainly is, because that's why I bold that there is none in Dunedin.
Okay.
But we decided to retire at 62 in a couple months, and we wanted somewhere warmer because we are from the Chicago suburbs, and those winters can be brutal. And I just got tired of shoveling snow, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
And cars that don't start, you have to have an oven warmer. And
luckily, we always had garages. Although when my two sons were of age to drive cars, each one of us had a car. So couple of them always sat out of the garage, and guess whose was one of them? Mine.
Oh, yeah. That's not fun. And you got the frozen pipes sometimes, and icy roads and blizzards and all
potholes.
Yeah, I know. I lived in Wyoming for a year, so I can definitely relate to you on how cold it can get.
So you have a doctorate.
I do. It's in optometry, which for those of you who don't know what that is, I examine eyes. I can determine what your prescription is. I also treat eye diseases, but I do not do surgery. That's for an ophthalmologist. The guy who makes the glasses is called an optician. So it's 3 O's.
3 O's. Okay. Are you? So you're not retired yet?
Oh, I certainly am.
You are retired.
You bet I am.
Yeah.
37 years was enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a real long track record to be in that one profession for that long. It's pretty good.
So you and your wife retired. You moved to Dunedin in 2018. And how about your family?
Well, we have 2 wonderful sons. The eldest is married. We have 2 granddaughters. And my younger son has been dating somebody for a couple of years now, and we're very pleased with her and hoping
it works out.
Works out
Fingers crossed.
splendidly. Yes.
That's fantastic.
That's great. Are they all in the area?
Neither of them is. The eldest is back home in Chicagoland, and the other one is in Austin, Texas, which is really a hot spot right now.
Oh,
I
yeah.
understand.
Oh, I'd say, wow.
That's a college town and quite fun from what I hear.
And a very tech-oriented town.
Yeah, Austin definitely is. I lived in Sherman, Texas for a short stint, which is more toward the Oklahoma Panhandle area, up in that area too. But at any rate, since 8th grade, you've been bowling in 10-pin bowling leagues until you moved to Florida, correct?
That is correct.
Now, tell us how you came to find out about the Clearwater Lawn Bowls Club.
Very
Your
simply,
wife, right?
It was definitely my wife.
Yeah.
She loves to bicycle, and with the Pinellas Trail, what a wonderful chance that is for both of us to do it. She does it far more often than do I. One day she was going on alternate 19. I forget what they call it right here. I know here is Myrtle, but further down by the club, it's called something else. And she saw a sign, and it said racquetball. No, it didn't. I'm lying to you. It said
Quit telling us lies, Dick.
Shuffleboard and lawn bowling. So when she got home, she said, Dick, I think I got something that you might be interested in. Now, me going back to the early days of lawn bowling, what I remember is 10 plastic pins and a plastic bowling ball.
Yeah, right.
And I look at her like, what the heck would I want to do something like that for?
Right.
But I went with her. And luckily I did. There happened to be somebody there. They took an interest in us almost immediately. And they explained it. They kind of showed me the greens and how to hold a bowl and that, and the rest is history. I've been there ever since.
And that's something. Yeah, you think of that as a kid's game, with plastic pins and a plastic bowling ball and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
When you're 6 years old or 10 years old or what have you.
Yeah, I'm envisioning bocce. It's not bocce.
It's not bocce.
Okay.
And one of the main differences is the bowl we use to roll to get to the target is actually biased. And I just so happen to have a sample of what a bowl looks like. So if I could get that out.
Yes,
We've got
please
cameras
do.
here, so
Yep. If you happen to be on Facebook, you can go there, go to the Kelly Show page, and we'll be on the station's YouTube channel
You
too
know
at
what?
some
I'm going to
point.
take a picture of that, and I'll post it on the page as well.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's like a gemstone almost.
It's definitely smaller than a bowling ball.
Oh, much smaller.
Yeah.
Okay.
The average weight of bowling balls can be anywhere from 2.5 pounds to roughly 3.5 pounds.
Okay.
And what do you notice different about this than a regular ball, say, used in bocce?
There's no holes for your fingers.
Well, bocce doesn't have holes for your fingers either, but this is not a round bowl, is it?
Yeah, no.
Because it lays
biased, like you
flat.
said.
Yeah.
It's because there's a bias or
Okay.
one side flatter than the other. Now, what that does is it allows you to throw a curve on the bowl.
Okay.
So you can actually go around bowls without actually touching them. And that's what makes this such an exciting game.
Okay.
Because your team could be down 2-3 shots. We call it a shot instead of a point because theirs are closer to the target bowl. And then is ours. Now, if I get one closer or one of my teammates gets one closer, that wipes all theirs out. Theirs don't count. Now
It's kind
ours
of like
is the one.
shuffleboard when the disc knocks the other ones out
That
of
is
the box.
exactly right.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Except this one curves.
This one curves,
Which is
yes.
kinda cool.
And they have markings on the two sides. There's a bigger circle and there's
Okay.
a smaller circle.
Mhm.
And you always hold the ball with the smaller circle being in the direction you want it to curve. So right now I have it on the inside,
Mhm.
so it's going to curve to the left because I'm right-handed.
Okay. I'll describe this ball. It's turquoise with these specks in it. It looks like. How would you describe those specks?
It's multicolored. It looks like somebody splashed paint all over the bowl, and the color they have been called robin's egg, just to get me smiling.
Okay. All right. Are all the balls different colors?
They're sold in sets of 4, and they all come in exactly the same color, exactly the same size.
Okay.
But originally, lawn bowls were only black.
Okay.
And for somebody like me who is partially colorblind, that would be horrible because you can't, when you're on the other side, rolling towards the bowls that are already present, you don't know who's on your team, who's on the other team without having some identification for that.
So Doug is also
partially
colorblind.
Yep.
So that okay.
Yeah. So you're wearing a green shirt right now, correct?
It's white, and you know it.
Now you said at the target. I'm still not quite clear what happens here. So you're standing how far away from the so-called target? How far are you throwing this?
Well, the length of the entire green is 120 feet at our location.
Okay.
And you have to you're standing on a mat while you deliver your bowl.
Okay.
And it's just a one-step process. And then you're actually bending down and releasing the bowl straight. And because of the natural bias on the ball, it will hook for you.
I see.
You don't have to make a hook, like turning your wrist.
Right.
You don't have to do that.
Like a Frisbee or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So you don't have to do anything fancy.
If you turn your wrist, it's going to move even further.
Okay.
And you'll probably be off.
I got you.
Okay.
And so you roll that, and you call this a bowl.
A bowl.
A bowl. Okay.
Right.
Because
a ball is symmetrical.
Gotcha. So this is a bowl. And then
B-U-L-L.
A B-O-W-L is this.
A bowl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, you're 120 feet away from the target. What is the target?
Well, no. That's the total length of the court. So whoever's team won the last end rolls the jack. That's our target bowl. And I brought that one too. It's just it's a much smaller, and it is spherical.
Okay.
That's a jack.
I got you. Okay.
It looks about as big as a cue ball in a pool.
That is correct.
Right.
I think it's very similar.
It's white.
And it's white.
And
They do
this
come
is the
in
target.
yellows too. That is the target.
That's the target. Okay. And how far are you from the target when you roll the bowl?
It depends on how far they roll it. Whoever has the lead, we call it, rolls the bowl out there. It is placed on the center line of the green.
I see.
And there are markings on the backboards on both sides, so you can line it up where the center is. But you don't move it closer than where it was or further back than where it was. You put it exactly even. So if it was rolled over here, you just move it to the middle over here.
Okay.
So if I'm in a bowling alley and I do a fair amount of gutter balls, would I be any good at this?
Well, you possibly could be very good because your bowl is not hooking. These bowls hook.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How wide is it? I mean, is there a particular width?
I believe ours is 14, and fellow members, don't get on my back. It could be 16 in our case. I think one side is 16 and one side might be a little narrower.
Okay.
But maybe it's 16. But there are variations in that. St. Petersburg has a shorter court with a lesser width.
I see. Ed, have you ever, are you familiar at all with this type of game?
No, not really, but it kind of reminds me of an oversized game of marbles, the concept.
Huh.
Yeah.
But yeah, in a way it does, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's there. Okay. Well,
Interesting. Yeah.
so now do you play against each other, or how do you do it?
We have what we call jitneys, and it's mainly designed for social bowling. And what we do is, however many people show up, they each take let's call it a tag, and it tells them what position they're playing. There's either a lead, which goes first, the vice goes second, and the skip goes third. So whatever you pick, you're it. And there's a team that's called heads, and there's a team that's called tails, and it's marked on the disc you pick up. It tells you what rink you're on and whether you're on the heads team or on the tails team.
I got you.
Okay. Are you playing on grass?
We are not. We are playing on a surface that is similar to clay tennis courts, obviously without a net.
Yeah.
There's no net.
And, But you do call it a green.
Yes, we do call it a green.
Okay. And
it actually looks green.
it looks green. Okay. And how much do those balls weigh?
Anywhere from 2.5 pounds to 3.5 pounds
Right.
approximately. There's some, maybe it's slightly heavier, maybe some slightly lighter, but that's the average.
Okay.
And how long have you been involved?
I have been involved 6 years, 5 years with the different occupations that any club would have.
Okay. So vice president, president.
Yeah, vice president, president, then vice president again, co-treasurer, and I am also the greenskeeper, and I have a wonderful assistant.
Okay.
Awesome.
This in bowling, some people have their own bowling ball. Do you have your own bowl?
I sure do.
So yeah,
Most people do.
they do.
However, beginners, I don't expect them to go run out and buy bowls without first at least trying the
Oh, of
game.
course,
So
of
we
course.
have many sets of bowls in different sizes,
Okay.
and we will fit the correct size bowl to the person's hand.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the club located?
It is on 1040 Calumet Street, which if you take Myrtle North here,
Mm-hmm.
it'll be on your right-hand side just before you hit that little bridge before you get to the brand new condo center that has been built.
Yeah. Stevens Creek, is that?
Stevens Creek is
Right.
it? Yes,
Yeah,
thank
right
you.
by Stevens Creek.
Right before Sunset Point. And
That is correct.
is that Fort Harrison, Ed, still?
Well, Fort Harrison kind of goes into Myrtle and then
Yeah.
they merge.
Right. Right.
Okay.
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 So you have tournaments, I take it.
We have, at least at our club, we have 5 tournaments a year that we schedule.
Really?
And we have people from all the other clubs in Florida attending. There are sometimes people from the Southeast Division, which includes the Carolinas and Georgia. And we have even had a U.S. Bowls competition, which is for the entire United States of America.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of our members are Canadians. And as the previous gentleman so aptly pointed out, COVID hurt pretty much every club that was in existence.
Very true.
And so we lost some of our members. And for a long time, the Canadians could not come down here. They would not allow them to come down.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Wow. So if you're in a tournament, let's say you come in first, what do you get? Do you get a prize? Do you get a trophy? Do you get a pat on the back? Do you get slapped in the face? What happens?
Well, I certainly hope not a slap in the face. You can win money. Most of the tournaments that we hold, there is an entry fee to it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the more money that is accumulated by those entrance fees, the larger the paid out is.
Oh, I see. Okay. So you get money.
And it's not just one team wins. It's usually for the amount of teams that show up for ours, there's 5 different awards.
Okay. And what's the most you can win? I guess it depends on the pot, right?
That is
How much is
that
in the
is
pot?
correct. And some of the pot obviously goes to us because somebody's got to pay for the upkeep of the facility, which
right.
Clearwater Parks and Rec does give us the facility rent-free, but there are pretty much everything else we pay for.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So
All right, now the real question. Is alcohol encouraged or discouraged?
alcohol is discouraged because one and only reason that the city of Clearwater
The park.
and their Parks and Rec forbid it.
I was just figuring, like bowling
So-
and darts usually helps your average a little bit.
Well, at
You
least
can't
it
see it.
loosens some people up. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
because you can't see it.
Yeah.
But there's a downside to that too. Again, we have to hold the insurance on the property,
Yeah.
This is true.
and then
Well,
we are liable.
This is
Understood.
true. So I have a legitimate question. What is
I
your
like that though.
yeah, your meeting times? Are they like, it's hot now? Okay. It's
Yes,
not,
it is.
Is it early in the morning? Do you have evening sessions?
That is a good question. We have morning sessions that start at 9:30. That doesn't mean you show up at 9:30 because we're already starting. So that you want to get there by 9:15.
Okay.
And because of how hot it is, we have reduced the time actually that we bowl. It used to be 14 ends, which took about 2.5 hours, sometimes even 3 hours. We have shortened that to, instead of 4 bowls, we use 3 bowls, and it's only 12 ends.
I see.
And what days are those?
It is Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Okay.
Sundays are 1 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which have not had a real good attendance, and I bet you could guess why.
It's hot.
It's ungodly hot.
It's like the golf course. I mean, There's nobody out there hardly.
No, there isn't.
Yeah. Not like that unless you're a masochist. I mean, it'd be awful. How can we ensure the future of lawn bowling?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. One of the things is by getting some spotlight put on us, and I really, really thank you for having me on and giving us this opportunity to make people aware that, there's a sport out there. And yes, you can do it. And no, it doesn't take a lot of physical activity to do it. Some people can't bend over. So they say, oh, that's not for me. That's wrong. We have a mechanism called, it's an arm. It's a metal object that grabs the bowl and allows you to release the bowl. All you do is swing it standing up, and it will roll. And depending on how far you swing it, obviously it'll roll either further down or less further down.
Nice.
And the bowls start to break as they slow up. That's when it starts to break.
I got you.
Okay.
How much do they cost?
Brand new, these can run somewhere in the neighborhood of $450 for 4. They are a plastic composite is what they're made of. And these are actually cheaper than what they used to be in foregone days because they had to do a lot more work with the material they were using.
But does it cost anything to go and play?
Initially, for beginners, we like to show them how to do it. We have a special event on Thursday nights, and you can find out the details of this on our website.
Okay.
Which is?
ClearwaterLawnBowlingClub.org.
Clearwater
LawnBowlingClub.org.
Okay.
O-R-G.
I gotcha. And bowling again for if there's any confusion. In this case, it's BOWLING, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. And is there a phone number associated with it or just the website?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I have to look at my card on that because my card has my phone number. That won't help you.
Okay. Well,
it's on the website though.
Okay. And you can also look up lawn bowling and put in Clearwater. It probably pops up too.
It will definitely pop up there too. And the design of our website, I think, is exceptional. It's been totally revamped by one of our newer and more exciting members, and he's from Australia.
Oh, cool.
And his wife also helps with this, and she's kind of an entertainment director there, and we appreciate both of them.
All right. Well, that's really great. It's nice to have something on the show, too, that's different.
Yes.
And I guess really you can't appreciate it completely until you go out and try it.
And we welcome everybody to do just that.
Okay. And again, you're located on
1040 Calumet Street, and I call it alternate 19.
Yeah, it's Edgewater Drive, too, I think it turns into, doesn't it? Right, adjacent to it?
It turns into Edgewater right after Sunset Point.
Right after Sunset Point. Okay, so at least we can identify the area.
Yeah.
Well, Dick, it's been great. Dick Judique, it's been fun, and I appreciate all that you've been telling us, and I hope people give it a shot.
Thank you very much for your time spent with me.
All right. Well, Kel, it's time to wrap things up. Let's do that.
Okay.
So,
find my page here. I'd like to thank Alicio Santana of the Florida League of the United Latin American Citizens and Dick Judique of the Clearwater Lawn Bowls Club.
Absolutely. And why don't you tell us the verse for this week?
The verse for the week is Psalms 22:27. All the ends of the earth will remember and return to the Lord.
And I know Kelly will really appreciate this adage. Sometimes I wake up grumpy Other times, I just let her sleep. Uh-oh, that's going to cost me. Well, listen, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Please do so every week at the same time and station. For Big Ed Davis and Kelly and myself, take care. We'll catch up to you next week.
FM 106.1.
WDCF, Dade City.
FM 102.3.
Listen.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Monica Ricks in New York. Former President Trump's attorneys responded to a protective order request today with just minutes to go before a judge's deadline. CBS's Kate